Pytes is a brand that has been around for a long time, and it comes pretty highly recommended if you ask different manufacturers or different solar retailers a recommendation for a battery. But is it recommended for the right reasons? Because after our testing here at the lab with their new V5 server rack battery, we may not be as confident as everyone else in actually recommending this product to you guys. So welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. This video right here is a prime example of why we exist here at the lab. During some testing recently with an inverter that we were doing, we asked a technician on the phone what battery they would recommend because we were having communication issues between the inverter and the battery that we were using at the time. And the technician recommended a Pytes battery. And so when we heard that, Dylan actually said to the tech, "Oh, that's interesting. What do you think of their monitoring, their accounts, their app, and how they update?" Because these were all things that we were having trouble with this specific battery at that time. And the response was, "I guess I've never really used any of that stuff." So my point here is a big brand was recommending a product that they actually have very minimal experience using. And that is exactly how a bad product ends up staying on the market for longer than it should. Now, is this a bad product? We will get into that. What I'm trying to say here is, welcome back to the lab where our opinions cannot be bought. As always, we will leave links to this battery as well as any other products that we recommend in the description down below with any coupon codes we can get to save you guys some money wherever possible. If you guys are watching this video and you're just looking for a company, you're not entirely sure what you need, you might need DIY, you might want someone to come by and install the whole thing for you. We built a super simple quiz, takes 30 seconds, then it hooks you up instantly with a company that can actually help you based on your needs. We will leave links to that down below as well. Now, before we jump into our experience with this V5 battery, all the things that we actually liked and all the things that we really didn't, we're gonna hit you with a super quick spec teardown in case you're not already up to speed with this Pytes server rack battery. So first up, this thing weighs 97 pounds. It passes the tiny baby lift test. It's pretty average weight for a server rack battery. It's a 48 volt battery and is 100 amp hours. So it is a 5,120 watt hour capacity in this. You can parallel up to 16 of these batteries together, so not a massive system. And in terms of charging and discharging with this battery, it's rated for 100 amps, but Pytes actually recommends 75 amps continuous output and input when you're charging it. And they say that the 100 amps is more of like a surge. Almost every server rack battery we've ever had is 100 amps continuous. When we tested this one at 100 amps continuous, it worked just fine. So I think that's just Pytes being safe. If you take a look at the rest of the battery, first thing you guys are gonna notice is these like feet thingies with the clamps. These are actually an accessory. They're not part of the battery. We will jump into these later. Otherwise, the build of this is very slim. We really like the size of it. It's got the nice handles on the side and on the front, so it's easy to lift. You have both your positive and negative terminals right here. You only have one lug for these. There's some batteries out there have multiples. This only has the one. You have your power switch right here, which should turn the battery on and off. You don't have a screen on this guy, you just have indicator lights. So this will tell you your state of charge and show you all of that stuff. Obviously you have your ID switches, your communication ports, and then you have a dry connect setting right here. And your weirdly watertight, even though the rest of the battery doesn't have anything watertight on it, connection for your Wi-Fi dongle. Otherwise, this battery is UL listed. If you take a look on the inside, you can see the temperature sensors. The fire arresters are actually on the bottom of this, so they're a little harder to see. All you can see is some wires going down to where they are. But the good news is this is UL listed. It does have an app. We will get into the app later. And at the time of filming, this battery with our discount code at Signature Solar is $1,400. Starting with what we like about this battery, the first and biggest thing is they have so many options when it comes to how you can mount these and not necessarily need a traditional server rack cabinet, which we think is pretty cool. The option that you guys see us using is basically this bracket where the battery sits on top of here, and then there's a nub on the top and a hole in the bottom. So when you have another battery, that lines itself up very nicely. The clamp grabs it and locks on, and you can basically just stack your batteries. There's about an inch of space in between them. It looks really nice and it keeps everything like very well organized. They don't slide around or anything like that. These are really cool. Of course, they're an accessory. You have to buy them after the fact, but they have tons of different accessories that you can buy also. They have floor mounts, wall mounts, and like 4 different versions of cabinets with or without doors, floor mounted, all kinds of stuff. So that we do like having versatility with how you actually set this up. We also like that this battery is self-heated, and the heaters turn on a little earlier than some other batteries, which is good because it just makes sure that even if it gets super cold, your battery has been warming for just a little bit longer. Most batteries, it's like 0 degrees or 3 degrees is the highest we've seen. This is 5 degrees where the heater actually comes on, which is pretty good. It just means that if you're using this in a cold climate, there's like no chance that it's actually gonna get down to 0 by the time it heats up. We also do like these handles. They're super solid. They're literally just solid metal. A lot of other batteries have like folding style handles like this, but on the front. And so when you try to pick them up, it's like 100 pounds. It's pinching your fingers. It's just a terrible experience. So we really like these handles right here. It makes a huge difference. It literally means nothing to most people once it's set up, but you get it home and you try to lift a battery like this, that's all. Like on the front, and you want to put your head through the nearest window. We also really like that the terminal covers are really good quality. You guys can see right here, they're not just like cheap clear plastic. A lot of other brands, it's just like this little shield, I guess you could call it. It doesn't do anything. Like if you flick it, it'll fly off. These are actually nice. They lock closed unless you break the lock off them, which we may or may not have done. And we also like this is the cable that connects the two batteries. It is soft, even though it looks rigid. And basically you just bolt that onto here, and then your other battery sits on top. So there's no like bulky wires or weird messes. They just link straight up, which is actually honestly a pretty nice system. It's also pretty cool that this battery self-identifies. That just means if you're setting it up yourself, it's pretty easy to do. You plug all your batteries in, connect them all together, you press the little SW button, and it will sort out the ID itself, so you don't have to actually go and flip the little dip switches on each battery to make sure they're all communicating properly. It's a little bit more of a hybrid. EG4 has done batteries that are fully like this now. This one has the ID switches, but the protocol switches are internal, so you still have to do half the work, but it's a step in the right direction. In our testing, this battery actually performed pretty well. It was 100% efficient. Most batteries are. If they're not, you have a problem. It does what it says it's supposed to do. Like it works at the rated capacities. We were able to output at 100 amps continuously, charge it at 100 amps continuously. It was able to surge pretty well too. We were able to run this at 5.2 kilowatts, which is just over what it's rated for, but it ran for like 3 minutes. The alarm light came on, but it never actually killed itself, which means if you're messing around in your house or whatever, and you accidentally start drawing a little more from the battery, you have enough time to figure out that you've made a mistake before it just shuts the system down. And we were able to get it up just about 7,000 watts of surging, just repeated surging, and it was able to do it every single time without dying, which is pretty cool. And in terms of the app, which is how you would monitor this battery, the app experience is brutal and segues us nicely into our favorite section called What We Don't Like. So here's where our frustrations with Pytes, specifically this battery, came into play. So these are brand new batteries from 2025. They're new batteries, but like a lot of new products, when they show up, they needed an update. So when you go to update this, there's two main ways to do it. You could do it with a Wi-Fi dongle, or you could do it with a communication cable that plugs into a PC. Now, when you do it with the dongle, Pytes actually has to do the update for you. You have to be on the phone with them, connect to your computer or whatever. They will push the update from their end to your battery. Then you can do multiple batteries at once, so it's kind of a pro. If you do it with just the cable, you can only do one battery at a time, and you are in charge of doing the updates. So we started with the Wi-Fi dongle, which both of these are accessories. By the way, they don't come with the battery. You have to buy the cable or this to update it at all. But we figured, hey, this is probably the easier route. We were already having trouble making an app, and then you could do multiple batteries at once, and we did have multiples. So we plugged this thing in, we got on the phone with Pytes, we got everything set up. Pytes pushed an update through to one of our batteries. They said, hey, it worked, connect this battery to the next one, we'll do the second one. While we were doing the second one, everything failed. By everything failed, I mean like the update just stopped going, and Pytes said, oh, it looks like there's been an error, like it just didn't work, which resulted in this battery becoming bricked. So now, if you noticed, it doesn't do anything. It was at the point where the old firmware was off, but the new firmware is not on it, and so it doesn't work. There's nothing in this battery. It's a boat anchor right now. It doesn't work. The only way to fix that is to plug it in with a cable and push it through yourself. Our experience with that system is that it doesn't work. We tried it on a couple computers, and we can't get this battery to take an update from the software that Pytes has told us to use. We literally cannot connect to this manually. The only thing we can get to work is this. And so buzzkill, boat anchor. That's a 50% success rate. And the best part is Pytes did this to the battery. It wasn't even us. And one of the techs also admitted that maybe the tech who pushed the update over might have made a mistake. They said maybe because the battery's old, even though it's brand new. So I don't know. I just don't know. It just feels like excuses to me. Point is, this battery is hooped, unfixable after trying to resolve it. We've actually been trying to get this video together for over a month. The second thing that we don't like about this is that there's really no good way to view it from an app or anything like that. Pytes, from what we can see, has a total of about 6 apps. We were able to get one of them to work, and only on the desktop, like a laptop. We weren't able to do it on the phone. Pytes had to make us the account. Even the one that works is like purely Chinese. There's a major language barrier. Like it's hard to figure out what to do. Some of the other ones, when we were trying to make an account, there was no English, so you didn't know like where to go, or it would say log in, but there was no create an account. And then Pytes has to make the account, but they don't want to make you an account. It's a very weird thing. It just felt more confusing than anything. A company like EG4 wants the monitoring and all that stuff to be comfortable and in the hands of the customer. Pytes seems to want this to be installed and then left alone. Just monitor it through your inverter. Don't worry about it. Just leave it. So for a DIY customer or just anybody who wants to check in on their battery specifically and not rely on the inverter, that kind of sucks. The next thing we don't like is that since the app kind of sucks, it is a buzzkill that there is just these state of charge battery lights. There's no screen to tell you what percentage your battery's at, or if there's an alarm code or anything like that. You can't get that information from here, which kind of sucks. We like batteries with screens, and even if there's an error, you can pull the manual out, read the code, figure out what the error is, and fix it. This doesn't feel like it's going to be easy to do if you start getting into that problem. So at the end of the day, who is a battery like this for? Honestly, I think this is good for someone who wants to have it installed for them. If you're having an installer come out to your house and set everything up, and you don't have to worry about how easy it is to set up or how you monitor the battery or any of that stuff, then that's good. Like if someone's familiar with it and they can make it work, great. It performed well. We also think it's good for someone who likes solar, because this is supposed to work really seamlessly with solar products. The issue that we see with a battery like this is it's no cheaper than something like an EG4 LL. That battery is just way easier to use. And quite honestly, we just have a hard time recommending products that give us, people who do this every day, a headache. We don't want to recommend something to you guys and then you get it and it's just a headache and you're just not happy with your product. This was one of those products. But that's just our opinion. Like I said, if you don't actually know exactly what you want to do, we will leave a quiz down below. You guys can take it. It takes literally 30 seconds and hooks you up instantly with either the right place to get solar gear or the right installer to help come and give you a price, teach you about it, set you up, whatever it is you need. Take the quiz down below. Otherwise, that's pretty much all we got for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will catch you in the next one. Peace out and stay charged.